Well, might need that. There we go. So, good morning, everyone. What's going on, my crypto warriors on YouTube? Everybody on Facebook, coming on in. Come on in. Yep. Let's see. Oh yeah. Come on in. All right. So let's get it started. Today is June 6th, episode 182. This is the Gentleman of Crypto. I am Bitcoin Zay. And thank you, Clove71, for streaming us on DLive. Not a lot of news today, but we'll definitely, like I said, get it in. Got a few things to talk about. Been a pretty quiet day. Not too much FUD going on. Not too much, crazy quotes. Dinos running all over the place. So we'll definitely get into this news now. So before we do, the free Bitcoin winner is Bergtown Music. Shout out to Bergtown Music Group. Been a very, very loyal fan of the show. Thank you for your comment based on our question, which was if you had the Bitcoin Batmobile and you could travel around a country or different places, what 3 places would you visit? Very creative answer. They actually said Pittsburgh because of healthcare. You could travel there, show them about blockchain products. Plano, Texas. Had no idea. Supply chain, definitely useful for them with the blockchain, and then going to the Midwest with Battle Creek, Michigan, where you could use agriculture for the blockchain. So very good answer there. Bergtown Music Group sending that free Bitcoin to you or free Satoshis. And like I said before, if you comment, like I said, we're giving out free Bitcoin every day. So thank you for your comment. So let's get into some news here. Circle, as you know, Circle is a company backed by Goldman Sachs. They recently just bought Poloniex. Well, it looks like Circle is looking to register as a federally licensed bank in the U.S. And in this report, basically Circle says that they want to register with the SEC as a brokerage and trading platform. Basically, this move, if you've seen how Goldman Sachs works, how Circle will work with crypto, basically what they want to do is they want to have one single license, and banking license allows them to do that because they say that the complexity of registering as a crypto firm with all 50 states is too much work, even though other people have done it. But Circle, in my opinion, they have the backing of Goldman Sachs, so they have the money, and the resources to get people in SEC that they want, as well as get them to pass the law that they want, which I mean, honestly, if you think Circle is going to become a bank and they're not going to register all the tokens on Poloniex as security tokens, you are, or at least most of them, you live in the Twilight Zone, because this is why they're getting this banking license, so they can become what the Diddley Gang has basically wanted them to be, a structured institutional way to invest in cryptocurrency backed by federal government's law. Why, I'm not sure, but Circle, as you know, they are definitely backed by Goldman Sachs, so they're not going to deter. Actually, Jeremy Allaire, Circle CEO, actually was quoted as saying, to hold reserves with the Federal Reserve, to directly settle with other banks and other markets around the world through those networks, that can improve the efficiency of what we deliver, and it can reduce the cost. So, like we said before, this technology, everybody knows it's cheaper, it's faster, and that they want to be the first experimentation for this federal license for a bank. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. If they do get a banking license, and we've already discussed Coinbase maybe become a crypto bank, they may beat them to it. Like we said, they got competition, and it's always good to see how things shake out in the crypto world. So let's look at some of these comments. Hello, Allison. Come on in. Psycho Bunny. How you doing? Crypto Ty. Everybody on Facebook. Joya. What's going on? Christopher. Gentleman with an A. Absolutely. Jizzy Mac. Yep. Banks want control of the supply, and that will never happen. They don't care about cheaper, faster. You are correct. A lot of the news that comes out, they always talk about how more efficient it is, how much cheaper it is. They never really talk about how they're just using that in the article. They don't really care that much because they have private databases that can do essentially the same thing. They just don't want to. If you don't think your transactions can be instant, if they wanted it to, then you're mistaken. They literally hold your money for a reason, because payment processors have to go through all these rules. So Circle will, we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, just bought Poloniex for $400 million, trying to get a banking license. Hey, put 2 and 2 together, what's coming. So moving forward, Money 2020 conference. As you know, The Money 2020 conference was going on this week, the 4th through the 6th, Monday through today. Money 2020 central bank execs conclude crypto is no threat to fiat yet. Molly Jane Zuckerman, who we use her articles a lot, she made sure she put yet in there simply because during a panel titled Cryptocurrency, the central bank question, representatives from the Swiss National Bank, Bank of Lithuania, the Bank of England, and the Bank of Canada, they took turns responding to the question, can cryptocurrency spell the end of fiat currencies? Now, crypto warriors, you know how we feel. Long term, we all think that it'll at the very least work alongside fiat currency, if not replace it. Yeah, exactly. This is one of the things that if you ever look at how money works long term, it's always changed. Went from barter system, gold standard, all the way up to now where we're just printing money like crazy, and now we have crypto. So I'd be hard pressed to think that it won't go away, fiat currency, but I think it will. So with the quote that they say, as long as central banks do a good job, there is no real need for central banks to disappear. Let me read that again. As long as central banks do a good job, there's no real need for central banks to disappear. That quote right there should just go ahead and show you the hubris that these people have, thinking that they can operate, like they have before. As long as we do a good job, these people won't leave us. Well, we have dozens of years of history saying that you won't. You don't even have a plan for the inflation that you've caused this for the last 100 years. So, yeah, Gabriel, it's a big deception. Banks tell you they're here to protect your money, and they're a for-profit company. You can't be a for-profit company and try and help people. You're here to make money. So just say what it is, and we're good. We're good. But at the Money 2020 conference, these banks get together. They were giving positive outlooks the whole time, and this isn't necessarily negative. However, they are kind of beholden to the fiat currency, unfortunately. And another quote, he concluded, I think the odds are stacked very much in favor of fiat currencies. I think it would take a pretty fundamental shift of public perception or the existing market system for it to happen. All right. So everybody who's watching, raise your hand if you think there will never be another crisis in fiat currency ever again. This is basically what they're trying to tell you, saying that as long as we can stay liquid and we can, control the money for the next another 100 years, cryptocurrency won't take over. Well, you're wrong. If they haven't done anything to help anybody financially, so everybody who's coming into the space has seen the garbage banks do. I mean, if you try to get money out of a holiday, good luck. Try to send money overseas, good luck. So in their eyes, they're doing a good job. But at the very least, we've always said if Bitcoin doesn't take over, crypto doesn't take over, at the very least, it'll make them change their practices. They'll have to change because it'll be too much demand. They'll say, hey, I can send money instantly. Why can't you? And that's the good thing about these Money 2020 conferences. You get to see a little bit of what they're thinking, even though they use double speak a lot. You do get to see exactly how they think about cryptocurrencies. And in their eyes, they don't think it'll take over fiat. Good. Keep it that way. You never see us coming. So last quote, if our product is good, we don't need to talk about the cryptocurrencies. It's a matter of trust. But if the society starts questioning, which we're already doing, or if it thinks that the things we are selling could be got in a cheaper, more convenient way, other things will appear. And that's basically them saying that if we don't get our act together, cryptocurrencies will take over. And right now we are scared to death. They're obviously saying that because if they fail once, cryptocurrencies are taking over. If cryptocurrencies, which has supposedly died 300 times Bitcoin, if it went away tomorrow, it wouldn't affect the economy to the extent that it would if fiat currency went away. So can't print money out of thin air. I think people won't notice. Let's go through some of these comments. Mike Bitcoin Outlaw. Yep, that's a wrap, Dan. They haven't done a decent job yet. Banking is garbage. Yeah, like Jizzy Mac, I agree with you. There has to be another crash. There's literally waves of crashes. These waves of crashes are usually every 8 to 10 years. We have a 100% chance, historically speaking, of there being a crash whenever we have a new president. Whenever an incumbent president leaves and another one comes in, we usually have a crash every time. That's why 8 to 10 years we have those crashes. 10 years ago was 2008. So that's all I'll say. And let's see, Christopher Ladd bought the newsletter bundle. Oh, yeah, appreciate you, Christopher Ladd. Yeah, shout out to everybody who's buying that newsletter bundle. A lot of orders rolling through. Thanks for that. Let's see. Yep, question every day. That's right. Absolutely. So moving forward, third story of the day, investment giant Fidelity. They are issuing job offers for crypto exchange developers. Not very surprising here. I have personally spoken to a lot of people who have expressed interest in creating an exchange. I think a lot of people are done with, I want to create a coin, talk, unless they're really serious about the development, because it's going to be, long term. But most people are just trying to develop an exchange. Like we've said before, in the gold rush, the richest people had the shovels, and that's what these exchanges are. It looks like Fidelity, who has 2.45 trillion under management, they have allowed clients to hold Bitcoin alongside traditional assets, and they're now looking to create a digital asset exchange. So if you are a DevOps system engineer to help engineer a digital asset exchange to both a public and private cloud, that's exactly what they are looking for. We will see exactly how they want to build this exchange, but I'm pretty sure that Fidelity will have the same KYC laws, the same AML laws. However, with these smaller companies that have exchanges or that started exchanges, they don't have the infrastructure to scale when there are millions of people trying to flood the market, like we saw in November, December. A lot of buys were shut down. A lot of people couldn't sell. A lot of people wondering, all right, I wanted to get in crypto. Why not? This is why, or this isn't why, but this is one of the reasons why we need other exchanges. So Fidelity looks like they're trying to build their own. Crypto Tile, wow, another institutional giant. They are definitely trying to play catch up. And the best way to do it is to build an exchange and then hope everybody comes to you. So let's see what else we got. Gabriel Hernandez, we could accelerate adoption if somebody offered the equivalent of a 401k and other retirement products entirely in crypto, get the average person to value it more because it affects them directly. Yep, I agree. They actually have the Bitcoin 401k trust. They have Bitcoin retirement plans. However, they are a little bit shady simply because the usage and the storage of value of Bitcoin, that is your 401k. That is a way to store value long term. However, if there was, trust me, people would be all over it. And the only thing I think people are waiting for now is to see the powers that be give them the ability to do it, which, people like us, you got to go for it without having to wait for the government. But other people, if they have billion-dollar businesses, they have to listen. So let's see what else we got. They're adding value. Good overall. Yep. More exchanges. And let's see. Do you guys still think EOS would be a game changer or just hype? Well, personally, we've spoken on EOS before. Those EOS tokens right now are kind of a mess. They were supposed to launch June 2nd. I'm trying to figure out exactly what is holding it up. The bug supposedly was patched. But there are a lot of people waiting on the EOS tokens. I'm not big on any project until I have some type of working product or community. EOS, Cardano, IOTA, a lot of them, they were hype cycles that were good for what they were. However, I'm not big into EOS right now. So I think they'll get their act together at some point. And if they deliver on their promises, we'll be good for the future. I'm not going to tell anybody, please get into it now, but definitely just watch it. I wait for price discovery personally. So let's see what else. Tone Time Trust, decentralized retirement savings. All right. We can create our own 401k. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. And definitely just hype for now. Haven't looked up Codius, but I will put that in the notes. So moving forward, Japan, for the second time, they have barred a crypto exchange. I'm sorry, for the first time, they have barred a crypto exchange. Second time they did something to this particular exchange. Yokohama-based FSHO, whose services they were suspended twice by FSA this spring. They concluded that basically they don't have the necessary system to operate its business because they don't have KYC. They don't have any know your customer standards. And if Japan they're big in the crypto world as far as adoption. However, you got to get that license if you want to run an exchange. I'm sorry, you can't be you can't be an outlaw in the exchange world and think you're going to run around in Japan. Honestly, so that is what Japan is looking at now. They FSHO is one of only 2 exchanges in Japan that have received 2 consecutive punishment notices from the FSA. The other one was CoinCheck, which we discussed. They lost 500 million in a hack, which is the biggest hack in history back in January. By barring an exchange whose practices it considers unacceptable, the financial watchdog appears to be making good on its intent to clean up Japan's crypto industry. Basically, they are scared of another Mt. Gox. If you know about Mt. Gox, they lost billions of people's dollars. They're basically still at a point where they're trying to sell it over the counter. And you don't want that to happen to your exchange because that was a big deal back in the day. I know a lot of people who lost a lot of money trying to deal with Mt. Gox. So glad I didn't. But Mt. Gox, they can't have that happen in Japan anymore, especially not in this climate. Back then, it was more of a Bitcoin skeptical anyway. So that's what's going to happen. Silk Road was going on. You know, it was a mess back in 2014, 2015. But Japan has cleaned it up, and they are basically putting people on notice that we will get your exchange out of here. They are not playing, and it looks like Japan will definitely will enforce it. Let's see, SBI VC will be #1 in Japan. Yeah, SBI Holdings has been very big. They've done a few trials with Ripple, and I think SBI has done a few trials with a few other currencies as well. Not sure, I have to check on that, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if SBI becomes the biggest in Japan. Absolutely, cash to. So let's see. Last story of the day. Not gonna keep you all too long, like we said. Not too many stories a day. A lot of stuff just speaking on speculation type stuff. But Nasdaq CEO basically says that cryptocurrencies are at the height of hype, meaning that, hey, like everybody else thinks, we are in a bubble. But Adina Friedman, president and CEO of Nasdaq Inc., said that cryptocurrencies are at the height of a hype cycle and become a financial element of the internet. Like we said before, a lot of double speak. Speaking on how they look at this disruptive technologies like cryptocurrencies, she stated they've taken a research-oriented approach, and whether they want to be involved, it'll be seen later. They're basically saying that it's a very speculative asset class, which it is to an extent. It's speculative for those who want a speculative market. For people like myself who actually spend it, use it, give it to other people, it is a actual currency. So to them, they are waiting. What I believe they are waiting to see if this actually holds up, because Nasdaq wants to bring it on exchange. They have stated here there are massive inefficiencies where there's paper instead of automation, where there's really poor record keeping and everything's in a drawer somewhere like private securities. Duh. So we have to deploy blockchain to the private market, where you can find really long settlement cycles and how blockchain can settle those or shorten those. And in my opinion, she's on the right track. She's actually stated the obvious. Right now, we have an inefficient way of tracking securities, of tracking people's databases, of actually showing people's actual money movements. You can't really keep up with people's money movements without something like a blockchain, because it can be edited, it can be private. So now that that's here, she has stated, I do think this continues to be a fascinating technology that could be quite disruptive over a long term. It's hard to implement because it requires an entire network to deploy it simultaneously, which we've already done it. But I think it's something over time that could become a very interesting force of our business. Most of these people, they're thinking the old school way, like we've said, oh, it'll be hard to implement. It takes long to require an entire network. Not really. Bitcoin has done it in basically less than 3 years. The network has boomed. So not really sure what they mean there, but I will say that she's going on the right path. They just can't get there. It's like these people, they can't put the words out, but hopefully they change their tune long term. Let's see. Mike Bitcoin Outlaw asks, where does the market cap for crypto need to be for them to really panic? Good question. Actually, 2014, Bank of America predicted that the entire crypto market's value was $1 billion. So, we've blew past that. We've had predictions from other companies. I can't remember the bank, but they actually had an end of year report. I believe it was Wells Fargo that the most they would get up to was 50 billion. Blew past that. I think the real panic will happen at the 1 trillion mark, or it will start at the 1 trillion mark, because I think once you hit a $1 trillion market cap from where we are now, that's triple where we are now. So as far as price goes, if we use price discovery just purely based on that ×3 number, Bitcoin will be somewhere around 21K, 23K, at that time. And you can't ignore Bitcoin if it goes past its all-time high, because at that point, that's where you'll see the FOMO. Yep. So let's see. Nasdaq Shield trying to cool the enthusiasm with thinly veiled skepticism. Yeah, well, it's one of those things where they're good with their words. That's all I'll say. They're pretty good with their words. King, as you know, he's in that world where they actually have statements they have to give. So we can kind of read through the doublespeak. Panic happens at the cost of mining for BTC about 5,000. Yeah, the cost of mining, I believe was predicted is 4,400. Is how much it costs for American miners, and based on some of the European miners. That does change based on electricity, based on location. For example, in Venezuela, it's like $500 to mine a Bitcoin, simply because of the economy. So yeah, I think that panic starts happening around that time. However, from a TA standpoint, we shall see, but I don't know if it's going that low right now. A lot of sideways movement. So that is all of the news I have today. In my opinion, the Bitcoin hash rate shooting up is a good sign. So yeah, definitely look out for that. So like I said before, that is our show for today. The question of the day, to finish it off today, we're going to continue with this Circle become a federal bank. Do you think Circle will become the first federally licensed bank, or do you think Coinbase will beat them to it? Also, let us know your feelings about them becoming a bank, how it will affect the crypto market. Put your public address and we'll send that free Bitcoin. Like always, glad to be here with our crypto warriors. 2 promotions this month. 50/50 promotion. Subscribe, get 50% off the monthly subscription. Also, the newsletter bundle, 7 newsletters for $10. Great information in there. Like we said before, Binance Coin, which is one of the coins we put out there as a buy signal, just hit its all-time high yesterday. So, we're doing the work. Like I said, we work every day trying to get these newsletters, trying to get this information out. The 8th issue just came out yesterday for those of you who did subscribe, as well as an entire tutorial on BitMEX. That is one of the things that we have featured yesterday as one of our tutorials. So check it out. Make sure you support. Make sure to hit that like button, share, and everything. Everybody on Facebook, same thing. Thank you all for watching and have a good day. Cheers.